morning, everyone. I want to start out by noting that and an apology of sorts to Ms. D. Moore and Linda Gray. I was scheduled to be on Zoom call with Abilene Black Chamber for their board retreat on this past Saturday. And I mentioned to Ms. Gray that I had a massive conflict with my honeydew list, and I just was not able to get on that call. But so I owe y'all one, Abilene, and I will make it up to you if you allow me to. Since we last were on our call, I know we've had a couple of birthdays, but Mr. Chairman had a birthday just this past week. And as he noted earlier, in his fun fact, had the announcement of his new daughter on the way. So hats off to you. I think we also noted that Ben Brown had a birthday since we were last together. I did double up on Mr. Chairman's email notice about this call, that this is our Black History Month. And he did, just to underscore what Matt has already said, this is February. And I just take a moment to just kind of refresh folks' memory about the reason that we do the work that we do. The Texas Association of African American Chambers of Commerce, of course, is the outgrowth of an organization that started in 1936. The Texas State Negro Chamber of Commerce was formed at the Texas Centennial Celebration here in Dallas by joining together the Dallas Black Chamber of Commerce, which was founded in 1926, and the Houston Negro Chamber of Commerce, which was founded in 1935. The Texas Centennial Celebration, again in Fair Park in 1936, brought together Black leaders from across the state, and it was determined that we needed an organization that represented the interests of all Black businesses across the state, many of them agricultural, certainly many of them in retail. We had not yet evolved into the many various enterprises that Black folk engage in now, but the need for an organization like this, a statewide Black Chamber of Commerce, has not diminished, and probably is more heightened now today than any time in our recent past. And so with that reminder, I would just encourage us to refortify the reasons that we get together on this call on Monday mornings. Make it a point to reconnect in between meetings. Know that, and certainly in my mind, and I think each of us is reflected in our individual markets, Black business is definitely under assault. It certainly is if left at the hands of our state government. We know that the Supreme Court has already ruled against affirmative action. We know that our state legislature has enacted anti-diversity legislation. And we believe that there will be long-term, long-lasting impacts from those two pieces of legislation and many others across the spectrum of the economy. And so I think that at no time, as in no time in the recent past, it's more critical that we engage with each other and use these calls and use our primary place in many of the markets that we serve to provide the leadership in our communities. And we can develop those strategies and those approaches to both leadership and for firming up the economic foothold for Black Texans. As Matt noted, now there are over 350,000 Black-owned businesses in our state. We know that Texas has the largest Black population among the 50 states. And we also know that neither of those facts seem to have had any positive impact on our presence in political structures. And so we know also that historically, community leadership has come from business ownership. And so we know that the role that TAAACC and its member chambers across the state plays a vital role in establishing the foothold for all those benefits that we should reasonably expect from our presence in those marketplaces and our contribution through taxes and other consumer opportunities. And so this is Black History Month. We make history every day that we're in the business of Black business. And so I want you all to feel fortified and strengthened by the very, very critical role that Black business plays in the state of Texas and across the nation. And so that's my quick and dirty on the Black History Month, Mr. Chairman. I did expect, and we'll have to push back. We had a conflict. We had I thought, some very exciting news to present to you. I'll give you a preview. Many of you know that there are clearly a number of micro lenders and other secondary lenders in the marketplace. The Texas Association of African American Chambers of Commerce has signed an affiliate agreement with Lendistry. Lendistry clearly is active here in the state of Texas. They were present at our annual conference this past September, but we've signed an affiliate agreement with them to begin to cure some of the very, very seem like omnipresent kind of challenges that Black businesses experience in accessing capital. And so we will have a representative. They just had a conflict with scheduling this morning, but have agreed to be with us on our next call and certainly present at our next convening of our quarterly board meeting. But Lendistry is, again, a secondary source lender, primarily lending SBA products, but they have established as a Black-owned entity, have established a foothold across the country, have also signed an affiliate agreement with the U.S. Black Chambers, and so that we won't miss not having the kind of relationships in our local markets that will provide, again, capital for the very pressing needs of Black-owned businesses. And so I think that's a big one. As far as I'm concerned, one of the things that when we started this work now 10 years ago, that one of our primary goals was to begin to solve access to capital as one of the crushing needs of Black-owned businesses. So this relationship with Lendistry, I think, is the first step. Clearly, our other financial services industry relationships are key. This one is tailor-made expressly for the needs of the businesses that we work for. And so we're really excited about that, and hope to introduce you to Carrington Eubanks, the Vice President of Lendistry, on our next month's call. Again, we have been steadily working on this literally since September on finalizing this deal. And it has passed muster with our council. Our Vice Chair, Carol Guest, has eyeballed the relationship. The good thing about it is when your members borrow a little money, TAAACC gets a little drag, and so it puts a little less pressure on the organization in that providing a benefit to our members also benefits the organization and kind of takes the edge off of some of the things that we have to address on a regular basis. Many of you are aware as well that there's a growing, and this is not directly related to business, but I mentioned our state's legislation passed this last session against diversity, equity, and inclusion in state agencies, starting off, of course, with colleges and universities. We know, and you recall that there was a failed attempt, and we take pride in leading the charge in making sure it was a failed attempt to expand that anti-DEI legislation to the states contracting for goods and services. We do expect that will re-arise in January, at least by January 25, unless there is another special session called and is able to be sneaked onto the back of some other legislation. We know that the governor has not diminished in any way his attempt to decimate public education in our state. So we do expect that at some point he will reconvene the legislation in special session in an attempt to force the voucher deal onto Texans. And so we want to be mindful of that. Again, I believe that is, again, one of the key roles that business organizations play in our state, and particularly in our community. Black business leaders have provided leadership, being elected to city councils, county commissions across the state. And again, I think that there's no time like in the past that's even more important. We know that economic issues kind of trump all other issues. And so to the extent that we as an organization can keep the very critical needs of Black-owned business in front of our city councils, our school boards, our county commissions, we do much, much, much good work on behalf of quality of life of Black Texans.